Hi Laura, thanks for joining us today. If you can just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what it is that you do, how you got to doing what you do.
So my name's Laura. I own and run a independent business called Ladies First. So Ladies First is primarily fitness for women, but not just fitness in terms of the physical, it's in terms of the kind of mental, social aspect as well. So I started off my personal training journey in a health club. I since left that health club three and a half, 4 years ago now. I just found it it was great, but I wanted to be able to serve more people. So I'm a mobile personal trainer, so I go and visit women in their homes. So first and foremost, it takes away all the kind of the barriers to entry to women to be able to exercise. So if I go to them, they don't have to worry about childcare, they don't have to worry about petrol getting to the gym, they don't have to worry about that half an hour it takes to get to the gym, they don't have to worry about what they look like, what they want to wear. Because even though we kind of go, there's so many people that just say, I'll wear whatever I want and I'm not kind of worried, deep down we kind of are. We always kind of think, what are others going to think of me, or am I doing this right? So for example, when people go to train in a gym, if they're new to it or new to exercise, there's always that worry of, am I doing it right? Am I being judged? What do people think of me? Some people go into the gym with, their hair done, their makeup done. If that's what they want, that's fine. It's the fact that you get there and you want to start exercising for not only your physical well-being, but your mental well-being as well. So it's such a wonderful job, because even though I'm seeing kind of like the same people week in, week out, it's a case of every session's different. So I never necessarily know what I'm walking into. They could have had, it could be a 6 o'clock client and they've been up half the night with a newborn baby, at which point we might not necessarily stick to the same session plan that I previously had planned, because that's going to be too much for them. We need to adjust it and adapt it. It may even be 20 minutes of them just pouring their heart out to me to get that release, because coming into someone's home, first and foremost, you're in their environment, but it's also, you're so separate from everything else in their life. You're not a family member, you are a friend to some extent, but you're just somebody who they can confide in. And that's such an honourable position to be in. And yeah, just trying to coordinate and sync up with people who can help women first and foremost.
Awesome.
In
So,
short.
how did you get into personal training?
So I got into personal training. So I've always enjoyed exercise. I used to be a swimmer, quite an avid swimmer, training 12 times a week, 2 hours a time, kind of real intense stuff. And I'm one of these people that can generally get on with most people, kind of male and female. And I just find that there's some, not in an unfortunate way, but I'm very much, if I mean yes, I'll say yes. If I mean no, I'll say no. So I'm very straightforward. It's a case of, sometimes I find, especially sometimes in a group of women, they can say one thing but actually mean another. And it's really nice that the people that I connect with are very much on my level. I think you find that as you get older as well, there's not enough time in the day to kind of say yes but mean no. You've just got to kind of go, yes is yes, no is no. So I used to teach water babies. So I love kids as well, and babies. I used to teach water babies as a swimming instructor. Taught adults, and was very much within the poolside scenario. Kind of got out of that, and I used to joke that, if you have a sudden panic or something, you almost get run over by a car or something, I used to joke and just say, I saw my life flash before my eyes and it was just a swimming pool. And I thought, actually, that was a time of my life. I now want to move on to be able to broaden to help more people, because not everybody's a swimmer. So I started doing some more gym stuff and training stuff, and then found that actually I really enjoyed it. Converted my university degree into a personal training degree, which is probably a kind of weird way around it, because it would have taken shorter just to do a personal training degree. So got into it that way. Started again really kind of shy on the gym floor, speaking to people, hi, how you going? You know, seeing what they wanted out of exercise and why they were at the gym, whether it's just a chance to be away from everything or if they wanted some specific goals. And then carried on doing that, and then decided, I say, to leave the kind of fitness corporation and go out on my own. So it was just a case of finding, everybody's different. Some people like weight, some people like functional fitness, but for me it's so important, especially for women. My first thing that I always say to them, you know, yes, you can work hard, but at the end of the day you still need to be able to function. First and foremost, you know, if they're married and they've got kids, you are a mother, you are a wife, but you are your own person as well. And that time that we have together, they are just them, but we're enabling them to be equipped to be that mother, to be that, you know, wife, and to be able to be fit and functional without any kind of injuries or, you know, tightness for life, really.
Awesome. So you talked a little bit there about like how you can support women. So how specifically, if you could go into a little bit more detail, how do you support women that you meet on a daily basis?
Oh, it's a very broad question. Support them in terms of, I always like to think, as soon as you go into their home, you just bring energy, you bring that kind of uplift for people. It doesn't matter what they've done in the past, you know, the morning, the afternoon, the past week, or whenever you get to see them. It's a case of, for them, this hour is all about them. Nothing else matters in the world. You know, I say to people, for this hour of a time, yes, I do, you know, I take my phone with me, and if, for example, hubby calls me, he knows, we just kind of, you've got that little message that says, sorry, can't talk right now. If it's important, obviously we kind of have a little look at that. But for me, a lot of the women are kind of, oh no, you know, you can answer it. I'm like, at the moment, you are my world, you are all that matters to me. And for them to have somebody say that, and to know that everything we're doing is for them and to benefit them, is such a, it's kind of like you take the weight off of their shoulders and you put it on your own just for that hour, and then you empower them and be able to be stronger physically and mentally to then kind of give that back to them, but they're better equipped to handle it. Does that make sense?
That sounds awesome. It sounds like you're having like a strong impact on those women. So if, for the people watching right now, they're at home, is there anything that you could say that they could do in their homes right now to support their wellness?
Oh my goodness, yes. First and foremost, keep your routine. So if you have a routine going, again, you've got some people that will have kids and whatnot, and they have to keep going for their routine. But if you don't, and you're kind of, you get up just for you, make sure you do get up. It can be really tough. And I've actually found this personally over the last 8 months. If I don't have an early morning client, there's always that temptation, you know, to stay in bed, even if I'm not tired, and you kind of lay there and think, oh, what shall I do? And I've got this to do and that to do. But actually, if you get up, you just spend a couple of minutes just kind of focusing on yourself, focus on your breathing, think about the things you want to do today, think about the things you're grateful for and you're thankful for today, just help you to just have that positive view of the time. So obviously now we're in isolation, you have got a lot of time to do. So by putting kind of a routine in place, even if it's just, you know, 7 o'clock the alarm goes off, by 7:10 you're downstairs, you're making yourself a cup of coffee, just go and sit outside for 5 minutes, just taking the day, especially on days like today where it's beautiful outside, get some of that sunlight, get some of that fresh air, and then just kind of plan on what you're going to do and make sure you stick to it. Does that make sense? So if you kind of allotted yourself an hour to do some work for an hour, you know, stretch for 5 minutes afterwards. And it's all about just making sure that you're doing stuff for you. So just make sure you have that space, whether it's, you know, a corner in the room, a seat on the stairs, anywhere that you kind of go, actually, this is now my space and my time during these hours, or just for this time. It's so important that you have kind of your own space to be able to just relax and kind of consolidate things that are going on around you.
I think that's a great tip. So like scheduling and planning things in, keeping that routine going is awesome. Okay, so if people want to find you, Laura, how can they get in touch with you? Whereabouts are you?
I am in Leamington Spa. So I tend to see people over Leamington, Warwick, Kenilworth, kind of Southam, any of the areas around here. On a Tuesday and a Friday, I'm based over in Kings Heath for the morning, over in Solihull, Birmingham area. And then other than that, we're also online. So you can do online sessions. So right now, you could be anywhere in the world that you wanted to be, and we could train. And it's surprising how realistic it is that you're training someone face to face. So I'm very, very fortunate. One of my ladies who I saw once face to face, we're now doing online sessions. So for her, she's had more online than she has face to face, but she still loves it because it is, again, that time. And other people are, you know, I've seen them for years, and then we go online. So they know you, and you still get to meet and get to know somebody else, even though it's through a screen. So yeah, right now you can find me wherever you want. So we've got a website, www.ladiesfirsttraining.com. All the information's on there. We've got like a little bit of a blog going as well, and any kind of online plans that you want to do, just send us an email. It'll come straight through to me, and I'll try and get back to you as quick as I can.
Okay, and are you on any social media at all? So if anybody's on Facebook or anything?
Yes, so Facebook, Laura Dixon Personal Training is the page, or Laura Dixon as my personal page. And then on Instagram, we are ladiesfirst.training. So at the moment, I'm not necessarily having it as a kind of, I can't think of the word, kind of hiding behind that title of Ladies First. When I started my business, it was quite clear to me. I did a bit of market research, and people were just saying to me, it's not necessarily the training they're after, it's the contact with you. And that's lovely, and I think that's really important to any small businesses starting, and to independent women who are independent businesses, is don't lose faith or sight of you, the passion that you have in your small business. The passion is what got it going, and that's you. Like, that's nobody else in the world. So when people have a little look at your, you know, your website, your product, whatever you're kind of doing, don't lose sight of you, and just keep remembering why you started. There's got to be a reason why you started, otherwise it wouldn't be there today, and what your purpose is. And the majority of us is to help others. Does that make sense? Just that little bit of help that you can give anybody. Just keep giving of yourself, but make sure, again, you have that time to fill up your own cup as well.
That's fantastic advice there, Laura. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.